All right, picture this. You hand an employee a neatly formatted bank statement instead of just giving them a messy, unbroken paragraph of raw numbers. Well, that is exactly what adaptive cards do for Copilot Studio responses. When we need to communicate complex data clearly, plain text just doesn't cut it. We need structure, we need alignment, and we need total visual clarity. In this explainer, we're going to break down how to design informational adaptive cards specifically for agent responses, and we'll keep everything laser-focused on exactly what you need to know for the AB 620 exam.
To get you exam ready, here are the 5 strict logic blocks we'll be covering. Core concepts, the designer, JSON refinement, PowerFX binding, and finally, handling multiple cards.
Section 1. Core concepts. Let's establish exactly what these cards are and how they behave in the system.
Think of an HR agent at a really busy logistics company. If an employee asks for their leave balances, a standard plain text message node would just spit out a confusing block of text. But look at this adaptive card. It takes that exact same data and arranges it into perfectly scannable columns. You clearly see the leave type on the left, the total days in the middle, and the remaining days highlighted on the right. It literally transforms raw data into instant visual understanding.
So what is the difference between an informational and an interactive card? Well, think of the difference between looking at a movie poster versus filling out a job application. The poster just gives you details, while the application requires you to actually write things down. For the AB 620 exam, you have to know this technical distinction. Informational cards just display rich content inside a standard message node. The user reads it, and the conversation automatically continues. Interactive cards, on the other hand, use an Ask with Adaptive Card node to act as an input form that collects user data. For this explainer, our focus is strictly on that informational pattern.
Architecturally speaking, adaptive cards are an open format defined entirely in JSON. What this means in plain English is that the system writes out the card's blueprint in a universal code. Because it's an open standard, any host application, whether that's Microsoft Teams, Power Apps, or maybe an internal corporate portal, can read that JSON and render the card natively so it perfectly matches that specific app's look and feel. So how do we actually go about building them?
That brings us to Section 2, the designer. Think of the designer like snapping together plastic building blocks instead of having to manufacture the plastic yourself.
Copilot Studio gives you a really intuitive visual drag-and-drop editor. You don't have to write the JSON code from scratch. The interface gives you 3 main areas. First, the card preview, which shows your work in real time. Then the element toolbox, where you grab your pieces. And finally, the properties panel, which is where you tweak things like colors, text, and sizes. The really brilliant part here is that the designer generates valid JSON behind the scenes, mathematically protecting you from syntax errors while you construct the layout.
Now, to build an effective card, you must separate the shelves from the books. Layout elements, like containers, column sets, and columns, are your shelves. They dictate the structure and how things are grouped together. Content elements, like text blocks and images, are the books. They are the actual data being displayed. A core rule here, you always place your content elements inside your layout elements to maintain order.
Here is an absolutely crucial AB 620 best practice. You need to limit each card to a maximum of 3 to 5 data points. Think about it. If a retail bot tries to show a product's name, price, description, reviews, shipping weight, and dimensions all on one single card, the layout breaks down and becomes completely unreadable, especially on mobile devices. Keep it to 3 to 5 points. But sometimes the visual blocks just aren't quite enough to get the exact look you need.
Section 3. JSON refinement. If using the visual designer is like framing and building a house, jumping into the JSON code is like painting the trim and adding the final polish. You should always use the visual designer for laying your structural foundations, adding your columns, your containers, and your text blocks. But you switch over to the JSON view for targeted manual adjustments that the visual properties panel might not expose. You never want to build a complex card purely from scratch in JSON if you don't have to.
For the AB 620 exam, you absolutely must remember which specific tasks require these direct JSON edits. For example, if you have a really long product description and you need to ensure it wraps to the next line instead of getting cut off with an ellipsis, you have to manually set wrap to true in the JSON. The same rule applies for adjusting precise spacing, padding between elements, adding a subtle background color using style emphasis to group content, or setting min height limits so all your cards in a row look totally uniform.
And hey, don't worry about breaking the system when you edit that code.
If your manual edits introduce a typo or a syntax error, Copilot Studio has your back. The preview pane will immediately throw a warning. This simple input to warning to fix process ensures you identify and correct problems long before the topic ever runs live for a user. All right, now that our card looks perfect, we need to make it dynamic.
Section 4. Power FX Binding. Think of data binding like a corporate mail merge. You write the template letter once, but the system prints a different employee's name and details on every single envelope.
Hard-coded text works perfectly for fixed items, like a standard company holiday policy that literally never changes. But for dynamic data, like pulling a specific user's remaining sick leave, you cannot hard-code the numbers. You must compute these values into topic variables earlier in the conversation flow. Then you use PowerFX formulas to bind those variables directly to the card fields.
Here is a massive pitfall that catches people on the AB 620 exam, so pay close attention. You do not want to try and transform or format your data in line, right inside the card itself. If you need to add a label, like days, to a number, always compute that formatting into a topic variable first using your logic nodes. Why? Because then Copilot Studio simply evaluates and substitutes the final clean value at render time before pushing it to the display. This keeps your card architecture super clean and bug-free. Finally, let's handle scenarios where one card just isn't enough.
Section 5. Multiple cards. Choosing your layout for multiple items is a lot like deciding between flipping through a thick product catalog or reading a single comprehensive restaurant menu. When your agent returns multiple cards, you get to control the presentation. A list stacks the cards vertically. This is ideal when users need to compare all their options at once, like looking at annual, sick, and parental leave simultaneously. A carousel, however, scrolls horizontally. This layout is perfect for when you want the user to act on one distinct item at a time, like browsing individual IT hardware requests. And this brilliantly illustrates a critical technical constraint you have to know for the exam. You might configure a beautiful horizontal carousel in Copilot Studio, but you must be aware of the channel rules. While Microsoft Teams reliably renders carousels horizontally exactly as you design them, other external channels might just ignore your setting and force the cards into a vertical stack anyway. You always need to know your deployment environment.
So we've seen how informational cards present structured data beautifully, giving users a clear, highly scannable view of their information. The layout is set, the data is dynamically bound via PowerFX, and the conversation gracefully moves on. But consider this. What happens when an employee looks at that perfectly formatted leave balance and decides they want to book time off right then and there? How do we transform this visual layout into an interactive form to actually submit a leave request directly in the conversation flow?